Laura Dickey, CEO of Dickey's Barbecue, has been recognized as a top leader not only in the restaurant world, but also as a data marketing expert for top Dallas ad agencies. As former CIO of Dickey's, she oversaw its digital transformation years before the pandemic hit. Let's learn more about this forward-thinking restaurateur. Well, welcome, Laura. Thanks for this interview.
Thank you so much for taking time. We appreciate it.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your career path.
I always get the question, how'd you join the Dickey family? Actually, Roland and I met and then got married, and then I joined the company. But my life before Dickey's, I graduated from TCU. I've always been in marketing and technology and kind of that intersection of those things. I love brands. I worked at the Richards Group, I worked at the Point Group, I worked for Fairfield Residential, and got to really be involved with some great iconic brands through strategic planning, which was really data and branding coming together to drive brand decisions. And I got to do a lot of work on the Chick-fil-A account, on the La Madeleine account, W Hotels, the American Heart Association. When I came in 2008, it was again to really do anything and everything we could because we were in a recession and nobody knew what that was going to end up being. And so it was to drive sales, pull customers together, pull guests together, and just really make sure that we could continue serving great barbecue. And then once the recession thankfully was over and everybody took a collective breath and we'd been successful, it was what would we have done differently? What could have made a huge difference? And what we really looked around and needed was better technology. And so we developed Smokestack, our in-house proprietary big data. Big data and barbecue don't always go together, but we put them together and they really made a huge difference.
And interestingly, you did all of this prior to the pandemic.
Yes.
And so when the pandemic hit, how did you shift and change your marketing strategy?
There was so much to be thankful for from that perspective because we had an infrastructure that allowed us to be nimble. And I was actually in Florida in restaurant visits and Roland was in Texas, and we got on the phone together and we said, okay, unprecedented times again.
Welcome back.
Right. What do we need to do? Because it was never a question if we were going to keep going, it was how. The best thing was having our technology infrastructure and our online ordering and having it be proprietary. Thankfully, we were able to move to almost 94% of the business from multiple channels into the single online ordering channel. And that is what definitely sustained us during those really challenging times.
And so now you're also expanding into the international world in the Middle East.
The first trip I ever took to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, it was to celebrate our second opening in the country, and it was wonderful. I mean, just absolutely wonderful that there is such a love of American brands in Texas.
So how is Dickey's approaching diversity, equity, and inclusion?
So for us, for example, you look at, say the traditional barbecue picture in your mind, and it's probably a guy behind a grill or a smoker, and it's more likely to be a woman at Dickey's. We also have diversity throughout the company, so it's just really important to us to make sure that you never have an echo chamber. I always tell folks that it's really easy to fall into just wanting to reinforce what you already know or think. And so when you have diversity at the decision table or the barbecue pit, for example, you're gonna get a better result.
Okay, so let's talk about your cookbook.
Yes,
which I happen to have right here.
Wonderful, how convenient, thank you.
Yes, Behind the Barbecue, Recipes, Cocktails, and Tall Tales.
Yes, we wanted to celebrate our 80th anniversary, which we just wrapped up, which is kind of hard to believe, but to really tell folks what it was like to have 80 years in barbecue. And it's also really just a love letter to people that love the brand and want to hear the stories, and we have lots of those, so most of them are true.
I must bring up that you are switching to paper bags.
Yes, we are. It's such a focus to be able to give back to the communities, and part of that is also being sustainable in the way that we do things. And so making those adjustments, whether it's from recyclable pieces and our reusable big yellow cups to paper bags, very big, very important, definitely something we'll continue to do.
So what's on the horizon? What's new going to be coming up for Dickey's?
More growth. We are expanding. We just hit 700 stores across all of our brands, which is a big milestone for us. We're very excited. We'll open at least 100 this coming year, so we're very excited there, and more international expansion.
This has been fascinating learning more about Dickey's. I really appreciate the interview.
Absolutely, I appreciate the time.
Thanks so much.